Welcome to STEAM at the Mining and Rollo Jamison Museums. Today, we're going to be talking about water. From the water I'm drinking, to this muddy water I'm standing in, to the water all around us. Did you know that all the water on Earth is all the water that's ever been on Earth? No new water is being made, and the water we do have doesn't go away. It just keeps cycling around in what we call the water cycle. So that means that this muddy water, someday that might be the water that you're drinking. And the water that I'm drinking? Well, imagine all the places this water's been. Maybe even a caveman took a bath in this water. So, how does this muddy water turn into something that's clean and safe for us to drink? Well, there's an important part of the water cycle that's responsible for making our water clean and safe to drink. And that is called an aquifer. Aquifers' main purpose is to provide clean drinking water. So today we're going to talk about aquifers and why they're important, how they're formed, and we're going to even go underground to see an aquifer in action. Did you know that rocks can hold water? These rocks don't look like they could hold water, but the rocks underneath us, underground, often do hold water. There are also underground lakes and streams, but a lot of the water that's underground hangs out in openings between rocks. Rocks that can hold water are called permeable rocks. Permeable means that water can pass through them. Rocks like sandstone, sand, and gravel are all permeable rocks. Some denser rocks are also permeable if they have cracks and fissures in them that the water can move through. Aquifers work like filters. And you know what a filter is. Like a mask that you wear on your face is a filter. It keeps something out. It keeps viruses and dust out so that you're not breathing them in. A coffee filter is also a filter. It keeps the coffee grounds out of your coffee. Well, an aquifer works like a filter because as muddy water runs through the aquifer, the small holes and openings in the rocks collect the dirt and debris in that muddy water, and they allow the clean water to run through. As the water moves through layer after layer of aquifer, it becomes cleaner and cleaner. Then people are able to drill through the layers of rock and pump out the clean water for drinking. So now you know a little bit about how aquifers work. Would you like to go underground to see one in action? All right, let's head underground. And here we go. Notice as we move deeper into the mine, there is more and more water around us. There's water on the ground, and we can hear water dripping through the ceiling. This is water that's coming from the aquifer above us. We're about 50 feet underground at the Mining and Rollo Jamison Museums. We're in a mine that was hand dug by miners long ago. This isn't a naturally occurring cave, but it does allow us to have a glimpse of what water is doing underground. So right now we're standing about directly below where we were standing when we were up above. So let's take a look around. Listen closely. You can hear water dripping. That's water that's moving from the surface through the aquifer above us and is dripping into the mine. And if you look here on the mine walls, you can begin to see drips of water. Some of this water has brought minerals with it from the surface, and these minerals are beginning to form stalactites on the mine ceiling and stalagmites on the mine floor. Here you can also see flowstone. It looks a little like a river or ribbon of stone. Flowstone, stalactites, and stalagmites are all types of speleothems. Well, that was fun. We got to see an aquifer in action. And now we know why aquifers are important, how they're made, and how they work. So how about we go build one? Ready to get started on building our aquifer? Before we get started, let's gather up all the supplies we need. So we're going to need some sand, some gravel, some pea gravel, some measuring cups, a tool for cutting, a ruler, a marker, some cotton balls, probably 3 or 4 cotton balls, some muddy water, and a 2-liter bottle. And we're also designing a well that's going to pull the clean water out of the aquifer, and so our well will consist of a syringe and some plastic tubing. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare our aquifer. So that's our 2-liter bottle. So you can remove the cap and then use the ruler to mark about 6 inches from the base. And when you mark at that 6-inch line, just mark all the way around. This is the line where you're going to cut. So here you'll be using some sort of sharp cutting tool. You can use like a box cutter or a scissors, but you'll want to ask a parent or an adult to help you at this point. You're going to just cut along this line, cut your bottle in 2. So I already prepared a bottle and cut it into the 2 pieces. So at this point you just have to take the top part and turn it upside down inside the bottom part. And that's going to be our aquifer. Next we're going to prepare the well. Like I said, the well will be the tubing and the syringe. So you just insert the syringe into the tubing. And to prepare the well, we want to prime it, meaning we just want to get some water inside the tubing so that the well is all ready to go. So you can put it inside some clean water and then just pump it up and down a couple of times until you see some water begin to move into the syringe. Then we'll place the bottom part of the tubing about 1 inch or so inside the neck of the bottle, and we're going to secure that with the cotton balls. We do this because water can run through cotton, but the cotton will hold our sand and gravel in place so that it does not end up in our aquifer. So it should look like this. And then you can place it inside the base once more. Now it's time to start building the layers of sand and gravel that will go around the aquifer. So you'll have about 2 cups of sand and measure out about half of that, so about 1 cup of sand, and pour it in the base. And next, you're going to add the pea gravel, about 1 cup of pea gravel. And the reason we're doing this is because if you've ever seen a cut in the earth, you'll see that our earth is not made up of one single type of sand or gravel or soil. It's various different materials layered that forms the earth. So we're doing the same thing with our aquifer. So let's put a little bit more sand in here. Put about a half a cup on top of the pea gravel. And then we'll add our gravel. We should have about a cup of gravel to add. And then finish it off with the remainder of the sand. So you should be able to now see the same layers in your aquifer that you'll see on planet Earth. So now the fun part, we get to test our aquifer. Are you ready to see if it works? Take your muddy water and slowly pour it into the aquifer. Now it's just wait and see. All right, it might take a bit, but look, can you see the clean water that's moving out through the aquifer? Now we can begin pumping it out. So if you just lift your syringe, you can pour the clean water and keep pumping it to the surface. And here we are. Look how much cleaner this water is than the water we started with. And one note of caution here, even though this looks like really clean water that you might want to drink, you're not going to want to drink the water that your aquifer cleaned. The reason for this is that there are certain chemicals and bacteria that a natural aquifer cannot pull out. So when cities and people who have wells in their homes pump their water out, they use different chemicals to clean the water to make sure that all those bacteria and chemicals, like yard chemicals, are cleaned out of the water before drinking it. I have an idea. Should we try something other than water to see if our aquifer can clean that? What if we tried something like Kool-Aid to see if our aquifer could take the red color out of it? Let's give it a try. Well, this is interesting. It doesn't look like our aquifer was able to remove the red color. And why do you suppose that is? Kool-Aid is a solution rather than a mixture. The ingredients in Kool-Aid are chemically bonded so that when Kool-Aid goes through a filter, the ingredients cannot be separated from each other. Muddy water is a mixture. In a mixture, the parts can be separated by a filter. So the water and the dirt can be separated by our aquifer. All right, well now I'd like to see you build your own aquifer. Test it out with muddy water, and then test it out with something else like Kool-Aid. And then let us know what results you got. And send us a clip of your own aquifer project. Good luck.